Hi, everybody. It's Nisha Zachary. Welcome to Permission to Lead. Today we have with us Erica Steptoe. Erica is a dynamic and tenacious motivational speaker who has empowered women to rise up and claim their unstoppable power regardless of their obstacles or past experiences. She has maintained hope and joy in a 13-year infertility journey, which she has experienced a lot of tragedy. But regardless of those tragedies, she keeps a bright smile on her face and trusts that God has a plan for her life as she continues to walk on this path. Her journey has inspired many women to keep hope alive even when their situation looks impossible or not clear. Erica is the published author of Unstoppable Tenacity, a memoir and self-help guide to empower women to rise up and claim their unstoppable power. She is also currently enrolled in a public health doctoral program. She lives in Cleveland, Ohio, and has huge intentions on sharing her message, Unstoppable Tenacity, with the world. Hi, Erica. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on here, Nasha. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited.
Me too. So can you tell us a little bit more about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. And you definitely gave a great outline around that for sure. But there's always little details, right?
Exactly.
Basically, there's two parts to my story because there was two catalyst events that really got my attention to help me be more tenacious and help me see more of my identity and help me see who I am really. Erica. And it really first started, of course, I've been through this journey towards infertility for about 13 and a half years right now. And that's been ongoing, of course. But one of the things that in my past, about 6 years ago, I made a decision to really change my life around and get in the driver's seat of my wellness. Okay. And I had lost over 65 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Kept it off for now at this point about 5 years, almost 5 years. Okay. And that in itself was just hard, and it was very tenacious, and it was a lot of heartache and pains through that because I wasn't a person that wanted to work out. I wasn't a person that even wanted to get rid of her Big Macs. But I did, and I did it because I knew that there was something greater for me. And it wasn't about the weight loss, as we'll get into this interview even more, but it was more so about finding who I really am and really owning who I am for my story and my journey so that I can be the most dynamic person possible. And then, coupling that with the actual infertility journey, that's been a whirlwind in itself. And it's really has identified myself, who I am, and shown me that regardless of situations, regardless of obstacles and how we feel, or even those things that we feel like are not even attainable, it can be done with enough tenacity, with enough courage, and dropping the fear to achieve whatever you want in your life.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what is tenacity for those that are kind of confused?
Yeah, tenacity, a lot of people look at it, it's like, oh my God, that's working hard, or that's something that's, it's intense, and I don't know about that. It is a very assertive, scary word. But my definition of tenacity is really continuous improvement, inner work of yourself daily.
Oh, I like that.
While enjoying the journey. So that's my own new revamped definition. You won't find that on Webster. You won't find that on anything, but it's the definition of my life story that has shown me that I've been more tenacious than I've thought. And that's where my book comes into play, because there was a lot more stories that I didn't even realize until I started writing that, oh my, Erica, you have been quite little tenacious being here. But it's been always because I valued self-development, personal development, and always finding ways to enjoy that journey possible so that I can keep going and moving forward and owning who I was at that moment, but while still looking at the end game to achieve whatever goals that may have been.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to ask you about your book in just a moment, but what is your definition of permission?
Yeah, permission. My definition of permission is being unapologetically yourself. Being not just self, but being unapologetically striving for your dreams and your goals too. Because that is who you want to be. It's really, if you think about it, it's like this underlying layer of who you are and what you really strive to be every single day.
Right.
And between those two, in my world, that's that tenacity realm, that you come into that point and you're saying, I want to be this, but I'm here right now. How do I own who I am, but still get to what I want to be? And so permission to me is striving towards those goals, so that you can just live the life of your dreams, whether it's in your personal life or in your business.
Okay. So taking that definition and then going back to your book, how did you give yourself permission? Because from everything that I've seen, you wrote your book in 30 days.
Yes, and there was a story obviously to that, and so I was listening to a video. I don't even know honestly how I came across it, because it was through Lisa Nichols, and at that moment I was not following her. I never subscribed to any of her email listings, but one day I was going through my email, and it was actually right after I had gotten another diagnosis along this whole journey towards fertility, endomyosis. And endomyosis is really something that one of the treatments of it is removing your uterus or getting UID. And obviously these are the two things, and for a woman that's still seeking parenthood, she doesn't want or desire. And so when I was watching this video, Lisa kept saying, your story, your dip is the fuel, to your success, and in which she was meaning the story. Your story is the fuel to your success. And I'm like, wow, my story. And I was crying and crying, and I'm like, Lord, why am I going through all these things I've been through? Why have I been through so many things that I can't never relate to the most, general public of what I'm experiencing? And I kept hearing her say that, and I ended up writing an outline to my story, because I said, it cannot be that I went through all these things just because.
Exactly.
And then I told myself, if I'm going to go through this stuff, I at least want to inspire or motivate someone.
Right.
And I wrote the outline in 10 to 15 minutes. Then I basically locked myself into a hotel room for only 2 weekends. So I can't even say that it took me 34 days, because the thing is I've only locked myself in the hotel for 4 days, but I wrote all day. So it was about 40 hours of writing. But I did finish the first draft within that small time frame as well, because it was just something that just welling out of me to tell my almost my life story. It's about 80% of my life in that book, including self-help tools and tips and tricks. So that when the reader comes to my book, they're not going to just say, okay, I know a little bit more about Erica, but now they're going to be able to identify themselves with some story, some sort of story, and then apply it in their lives instantly.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely amazing. So not even 30 days.
Not even.
That's crazy. Okay, so what are some common lies, myths, or misconceptions that you hear about tenacity, confidence, giving yourself permission? What do you think those would be?
Definitely between the two of tenacity and confidence, and it's so perfect words, because the tenacity piece, to me, it drives big time towards the one biggest story, my journey towards fertility. And then the confidence piece really ties to my 65-pound weight loss journey.
Right.
And those two words, the myth that I hear about them is that they're always about the external goal. Meaning tenacity, you got to work hard. You got to, blood, sweat, and tears to make a goal or achieve a goal. And then confidence, the only way you're confident is if you feel sexy in your skin, and if you look pretty, and if you are a certain size deemed by this nation. And I call hoax on both of those, because the thing is that confidence is from within. Confidence is your mindset. All because I lost the 65 pounds, that doesn't make me more confident. It's the work. It's the actual dedication I made to myself in that 22 months when I lost those 65 pounds that created a new being, the transformational process from the inside. Of course, I mean, yes, it's nice to be 5-6 sizes smaller and whatever the case may be, but it really was a transformation of Erica, that I had more confidence about who I was, and I noticed that I can really achieve things that I thought I could never achieve.
Yes.
A half marathon in 2 hours and 33 minutes, and walking the stage 2 times for fitness body competitions. I didn't think I could do that stuff.
They didn't even want to work out.
Yeah, I didn't even want to work out, and then when it comes to tenacity, it's the same deal. It's the same concepts of the mindset. It's an internal and working environment of personal development. You can't lose weight with a quick a meal plan and a quick fitness plan. Trust me, it's a million people in this nation right now saying they can't lose weight because they keep hiring a personal trainer or they think they can hire a nutritionist. It's a mindset game, just as much as tenacity is as well.
So your first step would have been changing your mindset, not going after the weight goal.
Exactly. Now, in my own personal journey, it wasn't that because I wasn't aware of that. So my journey, I was going in circles and circles and circles. And the first 9 months, let me just take it back a little further. The first 2 months of my journey, I gained 8 pounds.
What?
Gained. I didn't know what I was doing. And I thought that, if I work out a little harder or if I try to back off the Big Macs and the chocolate and the sugar so much that I'll lose weight. But I ended up gaining 8 pounds because I didn't know what I was doing. And then there was a certain point after the circles that I had to really look in the mirror and say, Erica, do you love yourself? How can you love yourself more if you don't, right? Because I didn't, obviously, at that point. And so it was me finding my own identity. And I noticed once I had accepted who I was at that moment in the mirror,
right?
And I had only lost at that point when I finally accepted myself, I was 20 pounds down. And I said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this journey. I'm going to just, every pound that I lose, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to buy new clothes when I felt like buying them. I didn't wait. I enjoyed it. And I honestly cannot tell you from that 20 pounds to the 65 pounds, a timeline. I can't even give a timeline. I could tell you the first 9 months, it took me all this. And then I finally got to 20 pounds. But after that, it's no timeline because I started focusing on other things like the marathon. I started training with my husband and saying, hey, we're going to run a full marathon. So at first I wanted to do the 26, point whatever miles at first. But I couldn't make it. It was a little much, I have to say.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But I ended up doing at least a half marathon, which was 13 miles, and that was a godsend, and that was amazing.
Amazing.
And so when I started focusing on other things beyond the weight loss, that's when the magic clicked in my mindset, and that's what I recommend now for my clients when they come to me for weight loss, and I do have a slew of them and success stories that. When they started loving themselves more and started putting their shoulders back a little bit more, confident in who they are at that time.
Right.
That's when they started just accepting that process and really losing the weight and enjoying every piece of the journey.
So it's like you have to disconnect yourself from the outcome in order to reach the outcome.
Absolutely. And that's my highest recommendation. Now, of course, a whole lot of other people have other things to say, but I've seen it very successful with my clients. When they do that, and then, of course, we go into the nutrition. When I was a health coach, I would go into the nutrition and go into the fitness. But I started always with the mind, and I started a whole month, and they were like, but I want a nutrition plan. No, honey. We're going to start with this mind right now.
A whole lot of people have it, too.
Yes. Yeah. They were like, what?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so what was your pivot point? What was that moment that you were like, I have to give myself permission to do this for me, or I have to give up?
I would say it was recently, actually this year. And I say that because it had nothing to do with the weight loss. It had something to do with me sharing my story more about my journey towards fertility.
Oh.
I've been very quiet about it to a point. Most people have never seen the vulnerable side of Erica when it was associated with that subject. And I noticed that as I've been sharing more in the last, I won't even say a year, it's been almost 2 years, but really in the last 12 months, definitely just been like out there about this, my journey on this path here, is that it finally allowed me to be me, that I didn't have to mask myself anymore of the hurt and the pain of this journey, not having to say, oh, I'm okay when I'm not okay around the subject, because the more that I was masking that, the more there was layers of just phoniness coming in my life, because I could not be authentically me because I was too busy trying to put this facade on saying I was happy when I wasn't that happy around me not being a mom as of yet. And so now that I accepted that and saying that I'm going to use this as the catalyst of unstoppable tenacity, it's really the foundation of my book, but then I go into all the other stories to help women to relate with me a little bit more. now I feel more free. You know, I feel more like, wow, it's like literally something came off of my shoulders and saying, you know what, world, yes, I'm going through this journey. You may not be able to understand my journey, but this is who I am, and this is why I am who I am today. And now it's allowing me to step into more of my being my assertive and being my tenacious being, and it's flowing into so many realms of different things that I didn't even know because of that one mask that I was holding for over a decade.
Wow. I like the way you call that a mask, and like you had to take it off. I think a lot of people have these masks on, and you want the world to see you as this perfect being, and it's like nobody can relate to your perfection.
That's
so you
right.
have to take the mask off in order for people to be able to connect with you.
Yeah.
I love that. So what was the number one thing you did that changed your life? Like, I know you lost the weight, and I know that you started putting yourself out there, but what was like that one thing that just like clicked it for you?
It would be owning or actually accepting my journey and accepting everything that I've been through. Because a lot of times I would say, well, you know, I feel like I'm always, you know, in the rubble around finances. I feel like I'm always struggling with that. I feel like I'm always struggling with becoming a mom. I feel like I've always struggled trying to be, you know, an entrepreneur, or trying to do this and trying to do that. And just coming to a terms in the last 2 years, just acceptance. Acceptance of my crazy radical roller coaster, you know, just, you know, something that just people can't even fathom. People in my circle, they're like, Erica, you are always doing and going through something. Like, you are always on the move. You're always achieving something. You're always, and also they see the down moments. They see that I'm always going through things too. So it's, you know, it's a mixture of all this goodness and the journey. And I accepted it. And saying that God has put a huge calling on my life to go through the things that I go through, because a lot of people can't go through these things without like having a nervous breakdown.
Right.
You know, and when I came into that acceptance, it's been an opening door for me now, because when you accept where you're at and when you accept who you are, it helps you be authentically you. And when you're authentically you, you show up in the world the right way. You know, you can achieve more, or you can be that entrepreneur that you've been striving to be.
Wow. I tell you. Okay. So what is something that anyone can do right now that will help them to begin the foundation of being confident in themselves?
Okay. Well, the first things they can do is start learning who you are. Really know thyself. I've done a lot of personal development, and I mean, even a psychiatrist or a psychologist the other day, I was talking to her, and we were doing some like quiz tests and things like that, and I shared with her my background as a child, and shared with her all the journeys that I've been through in the last maybe decade of my life. And she, and when I got the results, she says, Erica, I have to say, it shows that you have done a lot of personal development, because she says that she works with a lot of people from a behavioral standpoint that has been through similar things that I've been through. And I was in these like exceptional, radical quadrants. And I cried like a baby when I saw the results, because, or not when I saw the results, when she gave me the explanation, because I didn't know what that all meant. I just kind of did the test and, you know, getting the results. And then when she shared with me what it really truly meant, it was proof in the pudding that I know myself now, and I'm still learning. I'm still cultivating Erica. This is no end game. But the one thing, that first thing is know yourself. And then after you know yourself and you really understand your strength and your weaknesses, then you start working on those things, starting with the low-hanging fruit. You start working on those things that for improvement, and saying, okay, what can I work on today and next week or in the next 90 days that can make me a better me? And then you use your strengths, obviously, in the way that propels you to whatever goals that you have. If it's weight loss, if it's getting a marriage or becoming a parent, or getting a promotion at work, or building your business, for God's sake. Use your strengths and weaknesses, or building on your weaknesses while you're using your strengths all together.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So how does your spiritual practice affect your business? because I've heard you mention God a lot, and I
Yes.
know that you have an awesome, like a strong faith. So how
Mhm.
does that affect your life and your business?
Man, that affects me in an awesome way. It's definitely no negative there. And because if people know me who I am, and if they don't have that belief, then obviously they're not for me, right? They're
Right.
kind of like, whoop. But the way it affects me is it helps me stay grounded. It helps me know that everything I go through, every person I interact with, just even this right here is no coincidence.
Right.
It's always a purpose in anything, and it really gives me my daily strength. I have a person to reference to for strength, right? I
Right.
have a being to pray to for clarity. I have someone to lean on when I don't have anyone else's shoulders to cry on beyond my husband, because now I have faith and I have the strength and I have the support that I need. Yes, I have all types of support from a physical realm, but
Right.
in the spiritual realm, my God knows what I'm exactly going through when I'm going through it, and knows exactly the angels that I need when I need them. And you know, I'm all into the numerical numbers and such too. So,
Yes.
and you know, the guidings and the crystal healings and all these things. So I got this mixture of like this woo woo, this sassy, and this like this realist person here. I don't know who the heck I am at some days, but it's a blend that keeps me grounded. It keeps me in the game to keep pressing forward, whatever goals I have in my life.
I love that. So when you're going through like all the things that you've been through,
Yeah.
how in the world do you hold on to your faith? Because that can be the hardest time to hold on to it. So how do you keep going with it?
There was definitely times when I looked up to God and I said, why me? Right?
Yeah.
You know, like why, especially with the infertility journey. That's been the one place that I have to lean on God. But at the same time, there's been other ends where I was very, very upset with God, because I will look around and people will become parents that in my judgment zone, I didn't feel like they deserved it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like my husband and I have an awesome relationship, and I felt like the one gift, the one gift that I can give him that nobody else can give him is to help him be a father.
Right.
And it hurts me to my heart, even as I even speak of this, knowing and thinking of it, that he is such an awesome man to me. And I mean awesome, okay? And it's the one gift I can't give, and I always feel really shut down by that and frustrated about it. And then also I look at God, and I also doubted my own identity as a woman, because a lot of people don't understand when you go through this infertility journey as a woman or a male, you almost lose your identity at it, and you look at God and you says, you're the one person that can make this happen.
Right.
And yet you have not made it happen yet. And the only way I can hold on to it is just saying there's a purpose. And I don't know the purpose to this day. I don't.
Right.
I don't understand it. And one day I may be able to explain that. I don't know. I know I'm starting to see more of a purpose in it, especially with the book and helping women, and not in the realm of just that subject, but in a realm of so many subjects of things that people desire, but they don't feel like they have control or on getting.
Right.
And that's the only thing that keeps me together, honestly, Nesha, that it's, I don't know what's the purpose, but there's some level of purpose. And I've had to scream and cry and yell at God to get to a point where I'm at today. And I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna have to do that again. It may be another breakdown in my life coming in this subject. I don't know. But all I can do is keep holding faith, because I have to look at all the awesome stuff that he's given me too. I can't look at having a baby as the only gift of God. It's been so many things. Me sitting here today through it all. I've seen marriages break down, divorce, get bankruptcy. My husband and I have invested almost $80,000 towards fertility treatments,
Wow.
medications, everything. And I've seen couples fall out over this stuff, because it gets to a point where it gets a little like, okay,
right.
how much money are we going to spend? How much attention are we going to give this? And all I can do is thank God that I still have an awesome marriage. I still have my mind. I still, you know, have all the resources that I need when I need them. And so that's what keeps me going.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. So what was holding you back from living your dream?
You know, there was about a decade ago, a first lady of a church, she told me, Erica, you're not being yourself. And I got really offended, like really offended. And I honestly look back on that actually a couple months ago. It's something, I don't know how and why, it just kind of, you know how something just comes back to you and you're just like, wait a minute, she was right. She was so right. Like, she was so right that all these years I have not been myself. Even one of my closest friends recently, she said, Erica, these videos that you've been doing, because I've been doing a lot of Facebook Lives and a lot of weekly videos with my tribe. She said, this is the most authentic I ever seen you. And she said, you've done a lot of videos, even when you lost your weight and when you were talking to people on social media and all this other stuff. She said, this is the most authentic I've seen you.
Wow.
And I really feel like that's been holding me back. That mask that we were talking about a little bit, that's been holding me back. This mask, this shield, this protection of me not feeling like I can be who I want to really truly be. You know, as a child, I've always been told that I'm too assertive, I'm too ambitious, I'm too zealous, I'm too this, I'm too that. It's like, oh my God. So I always diluted myself. Always diluted myself because I felt like if I was to be who I wanted to be, I would make people feel crappy, ruffle their feathers, which I've always did as a child. I've always made a lot of people upset, unfortunately. You can read that in the book too. It's been some crazy stories. But the thing is that I've never felt like I can be me because I felt like every time I would open up my mouth, someone would be like, oh, shut up, Erica. Don't do that, Erica. Don't be that, Erica. And so it's just been so like, when you hear that over and over again, you just start like slunching over and you just kind of like forget it. And then you put something on your face and you just start acting a certain way. And so when that pastor, that first lady of that church told me that, she was right. And you know, and I keep thinking I should reach back out to her and tell her, you were right. Like, you were over a decade ago, I got so mad at her, but that's what's been holding me back. And now I feel so free to be me. And if it doesn't make anyone happy, sorry.
Hey.
You know, sorry, but not sorry.
Keep that mask on. This is what we need to see. Oh my gosh, that's amazing that you could take that offense and really look at it.
Yeah.
Understand that it wasn't meant to be offensive. It was meant to pull you out of and bring you into authenticity. I love it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so she told you weren't being you. So from there, what is the best advice you've ever received? Like, that's helped you become you?
Ooh, that's a good one. The best advice. I would say it would be being authentic. But you know, the other best advice would be too, is just really making sure that you keep yourself grounded as much as you can in your faith. You know, making sure that you also, not just your faith, but keeping grounded and balance in life, period. You know, when as a health coach, and I'm a health coach for a really large organization, healthcare organization, and you know, balance too, to me, is keeping your stress as minimum as possible. And you know, that when you keep that in alignment, and when you keep yourself time management, life balance, work-life balance, you have a sense of flowing through life with a little bit more ease. And you don't have to feel like you're forcing things. You don't feel like you're going against the grain so much and creating a lot of animosity and tension. And so, you know, when I heard that, you know, being, you know, going with ease and flow, I heard that, I forgot who said that, but it was some years, like 2-3 years ago, someone said ease and flow. And I'm like, ease and flow? That don't exist. You got to work hard. You got to do this. You got to go, you know, you got to like, boom, you got to boom, boom, you know,
and fight your way through.
Yeah, but balance and ease and flow is, oh my God, so important. Like if you don't go through that and really grasp that in your life, that you do not have to work hard for things that you really love,
Hmm.
it can change your life. It can change your whole concept around that. And the stress levels in my world, it went down. Because my world, I've always had to work. I felt like I had to work extra hard for stuff or extra,
Right.
boom, you got to, put the extra oomph into stuff, which created anxiety, stress, and worry.
Right.
And so I found a balance in that now, that I can still be my type A personality, and I can still be ambitious, and I can go for my stuff and be this tenacious queen that I am, AKA tenacity trainer. But I got to still have balance. I have to also remind myself that everything doesn't have to be You can have ease and flow, ease and flow. And things can come to you. You attract more things. You can be more abundant. You can have the things that you really want in life.
Right.
Slim it down a notch, and so that you can keep flowing in life.
Wow. I've been watching you, like we talked about earlier. I've been watching you for the last at least 4 months now. And
Yeah.
the ease and flow with which you move through things, it's like you can be having a bad moment, but I don't think I've ever seen you have a bad day. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like
Yes.
it doesn't, like you move out of it so
Yeah.
easily. Like you don't allow it to overtake you. And I think
Yeah.
that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And it takes a lot of inner work, right? It takes a lot of like self-talk. I talk about with my tribe, the gremlins. They laugh at me because I say them gremlins, they speak all day long, and they're like, shut up. Like, and I've learned and mastered, and I'm not perfect at it though, but I feel like I truly have mastered to shut down the gremlins as soon as I possibly can. And like yesterday, for example, me flying back from Atlanta, and OMG, flight being canceled, delayed flights, all this stuff. I had to get all these, layovers and things that I just did not have in my agenda, nor my schedule, nor the patience level for it at that moment. Starting 6 a.m. at the airport, and you're already tired.
Right.
I had to find a moment in that, because I was really stressed because I had to buy a very expensive ticket, and actually had to have a family member help me with this ticket, which I was very embarrassed about. I had to walk into the bathroom and say, you know what, Lord, I thank you. I thank you. I am abundant with overflow. I am abundant with overflow. And I had to repeat that mantra to myself about 5-6 times with tears running down my eyes, because I know that if I did not reroute my thinking and reframe those negative thoughts, that stuff was going to fester into today or, tomorrow, next week, because
Yeah.
that's what happens when that negative cycle comes in. It doesn't stop until you stop it.
That's so true.
Like if I would have just never went into the restroom and not said anything to myself with those mantras, I probably would still been in a funky mood right now.
Wow.
But I took the time to say, Erica, whoa, you're really allowing this to get to you. And yes, this is happening, but you know what? Thank God that a family member was able to get this ticket for you. Thank God.
Right.
Your abundant overflow don't mean your bank account got to match the abundance, right?
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes God puts people in your circle, in your tribe, and abundance is not just money. It's everything. It's the support. It's the the ease and the flow of life. Of things that's providing to you when it needs to at the very moment. And so that really shook me, and that's what helps me bounce back quickly, the mindset. And that's why I'm an empowerment and mindset coach, because I have to live it every day with myself.
I love that. I love the way you were able to see the people around you as helping you, not as necessarily, I know you said you were embarrassed, but it wasn't an embarrassment. It was a God-given resource. And it's amazing that you're able to see the resources that are around you and pull from them so easily, where some people would be like, okay, I'm embarrassed, I'll just figure something else out.
Oh, and it definitely crossed my mind. So, but I had to swallow pride. And sometimes we really have to do that and become a little bit more vulnerable. And I wasn't raised up to be vulnerable. I had to learn that. And me being a little bit more vulnerable each year is allowing me to grow as an individual, and is allowing me to be the best coach ever to my clients.
That's awesome.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so what's one personal habit that you contribute to your success? Like, I know obviously your mantras.
Yes.
So what else? What's one thing that somebody can take from you and help them get there?
Yeah, what I do almost every night, I can't say 100%. Almost every night. I write in my journal and I write down my dream life as if I was in the present moment.
Every night.
Every night. Almost every night. Yeah. Not 365, more so
Yeah.
like 300 out of 365. Sometimes like I didn't get to do it last night because I came in really late,
Right.
But the other nights I did it, so it's like that. But it's definitely a really big thing that I do because it helps me get into that like vibrational vortex of receiving something that I really do desire. For example, like I wrote in there and it actually ended up happening is that I wrote it in there about 3 months ago. I wrote in there, I said, I will meet Lisa Nichols. I'm going to be able to have a chat with her. I'm going to talk to her like she's my friend. And I'm going to be so excited about that interaction because, it's someone that I really look up to.
Right.
And over the past weekend, I was able to meet her.
Oh gosh,
and she felt like a friend. Her and I was taking selfies together and doing dust.
I saw that.
And we were just talking and laughing and just, oh my God, it was just like she's been a friend forever. And so I write in that journal in the present tense, not saying when I meet Lisa Nichols, it was I met Lisa Nichols.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be pages and pages. It could be a paragraph, a sentence, for God's sake. I've just some days when I wasn't, really in tune, I'll write one sentence.
Okay, that was my next question. If you write the same thing every day, so
no. So, basically I don't write, the same thing every single day. I write more so as if I was walking through the life, just me, my daily life, walking through it day by day. As it, just like I'm really in the motion of this daily deal. I'll write something random, just whatever I felt like I want to dream at that moment. And it helps a lot because it's not the same thing. It's creating your own little life. And then one day I'm hoping to look back and see a lot of this stuff. I have seen a lot of these things and I'm still obviously waiting on some more, And so
right.
it creates this fun, high emotions because to me it's a difference for it just manifesting something. You can say, okay, I want this, I want that, but what is the emotion that's attached to that want and that desire? Right. We really have to get in tune with that because if we don't get into that emotional connection to that desire, to me in my world, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Because once you get yourself and Louise Hay, she is really big about that vibrational vortex and then what she mean by that is feeling the emotion as if it happened right now.
Okay, I got
it's huge.
Okay, so in that same vein, if you're writing in your journal, there are people that write down at the end of the day, okay, this happened to me today, and today I got fired, and then I lost my bank card, whatever, and you're feeling those emotions. Would you say that that's perpetuating those emotions to keep going with you?
Oh, yes. Because you know what? Our thoughts do become things. And so we have to be very mindful of the negative talk, the language that we speak to ourselves.
Right.
A huge piece in my book that's about having a queen mentality, obviously towards the women, and really claiming our inheritance because it's all about the words that we use. So it's imperative that you don't write out negative things. You're writing out the things you desire in a positive way. Now I get when you're journaling, you're venting and you're, kind of like talking about the day so that you can reference back to it as a like, okay, wow, I came out of that. But I will always, always, always close with something positive because you don't want to find yourself writing out or speaking out just negative things. Like how you referenced to me saying that you can see that I may have a bad day because I may be being transparent about something, but then you can see that quickly I change it is because I don't stay in that moment. I'm not saying that you overlook your feelings and sadness or frustration or traumas because I am a realist. I'm a coach. I understand. I walk with my clients through transformational process, and it's not always a cute deal. I've been depressed. I've been very frustrated. I've cried tears. I shedded a lot of blood and tears and heartache for all types of things in my life.
Right.
But it's about not staying there. It's about speaking life over whatever situation it is. And that's what's going to attract the life that you really desire for yourself.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have to ask you about this. You just referenced claiming your inheritance. And I have heard from so many people that this little tidbit from you has been like the thing that just did it. So I have to know, what is claiming your inheritance? What is that?
So claiming your inheritance is, because I am spiritual, I believe, because God is the King of all kings. And so yet that has to put me in some level of royalty. I mean, if that's my father, right? That's the father of all fathers, the father of God and all the whole world and universe, then I am a child of God. So if I'm a child of God, the King of all kings, then somehow there's some royalty here that I've overlooked and that I need to make sure that I hook onto. And it's the mindset is that we all have it available. You know, a lot of people reference, especially in the church, if we want to get real deep here, the church piece, they feel like, oh, sufferings and heartaches and pains. That's what we supposed to go through this stuff because that's the way you get closer to God. And then you know, you can find, I don't know, all these things and accolades. And I'm like, no, God is calling us to be abundant, okay? And He obviously has given us all the resources to do that. We're the ones that's choosing to forfeit our inheritance or not. It's already sitting right in front of our faces. All we got to do is get our arms wrapped around it and say, okay, it's mine. Yes, the house that you want, the business that you want to build, the you know, whatever it is, money or not money attached to it, all abundant.
Right.
The relationship, if you want to get married or want to have kids or any of these things, they're all attached to abundance. And abundance, you know, that's what He wants us to have, is scriptures after scriptures that I can't even quote them. But if you go into an index of a Bible and say abundance, you're going to get like at least 20 scriptures, okay? Right. And so He's called us to be that, but yet we forfeited because we're like almost waiting on God to give it to us. But He already has given it to us. As far as He's given us all the resources too, it's up to us to claim it and to grab it and use everything around us in order to get to that level of abundance in our lives.
Oh my gosh. I am so grateful for this time with you. Oh man, you don't even know. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. So, what is your parting piece of guidance for women today?
Yeah, so what I want to do, because it's I will be giving the ladies a downloadable copy of the first chapter of my book. And then also it will be a great guide around, the title of it is, you know, how to have an abundant mindset with a negative bank account.
Oh,
that's the name of it. Now, hear me out on this. The thing is, it's not just about money, but I use the negative bank account as the accolade to draw you in, to really tie in on how can you feel abundant in your life. And it could be abundant in your relationship, abundant in your job, abundant in your business, abundant, you know, whatever ways that is, when you don't feel and when you don't see,
right,
which is the negative bank account. And so it will be a webinar. It's a 1-hour webinar. So I'll be giving that to the ladies. And what it is that my first chapter of the book is not fully available yet, but whoever goes to unstoppabletenacity.com will be getting that when it's available.
Okay. I love this. Okay. So where can we reach you? I know you said unstoppabletenacity.com. Where else can we find you?
On Facebook, I'm definitely a very, very active participant of Facebook, and that's probably the best way. Other than that, and then that would be probably the best way. Facebook and unstoppabletenacity.com. And so when you go to unstoppabletenacity.com, you'll of course sign up and put your email in there, and then everyone that signed up for that, they will get the downloadable copy of my first chapter of Unstoppable Tenacity's book. And also the awesome webinar around having an abundant mindset with a negative bank account. It's going to be quite powerful.
This is so exciting. Okay, so there are going to be links to everything underneath the video, and they can just click on them and they'll take them straight where they need to go. You can connect with Erica on Facebook on the link down below this video also. And Erica, I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for joining me. And
no problem. Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful. I'm glad. I'm hoping that this will inspire some ladies and motivate some ladies as well, whatever goals that they have.
I hope so. Well, thank you so much, and you have a good day.
You too. Thanks.